Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and our wonderful government and politicians here in the United States have finally gotten us over $30 trillion in debt in the United States of America. People should go to jail for what they've done to this country, and that includes the bailouts and the financial crisis. There are so many people that belong in prison as a result of all of this, but instead they're becoming billionaires, and they are able to do anything they want, and none of them ever go to jail. They are able to commit any kind of illegalities that they want to at will, because we live in a new United States of America, in my opinion. It took up to 2008 to reach 10 trillion. It took to 2016, 8 years to get to 2022 to reach 30. Now, folks, I've said it 1,000 times on this channel. I'm going to say it again. They cannot get out of this debt. So once you accept that fact, which is a fact, there's nothing they can do about it. There's only really a couple of ways out. One, and that is to default, to just not pay it, cancel it all out. Well, they just canceled a bunch of student debt, so at least they've got that mindset going. But you cancel it and you have a world war. Okay, so the question is, what do you do? Well, that's what I've thought that this. I've told you 1,000 times too that I don't believe these digital currencies were just the bright ideas of some entrepreneur out there. I think they were born of the government. Everything from Bitcoin to, not all of it, but at least the foundational stuff. I think that Bitcoin was created by the government in the financial crisis to be made to look like a libertarian movement, so that when the results of bailing out all their friends happened, instead of the people would have another option besides going to what the government hates for you to go to, which is physical gold and silver. All of a sudden they had this third option, okay? And it was disguised as a libertarian movement. And I think it's still disguised as that. I think the Wall Street marketing machine, all of the crypto outlets that push Bitcoin, I think they all know it, because there's a lot of sophisticated people involved in all of this. And this level of sophisticated people do not and would not put all of this money towards Bitcoin unless they knew who Satoshi Nakamoto was. Because there's way too much liability, okay? All right, enough on that. But let's look at what's going on. So here's the debt clock. We're over 30 trillion. But meanwhile, and look, over in Japan, they're considering easing rules. The industry body that approves crypto tokens is considering easing rules following complaints from its members. Well, how much have we been complaining? But we get Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren over here in the United States. Instead of a reaction to the people that's pro-innovation, we get the exact opposite over here. In fact, I saw this video from 2018 going around where Michael Arrington talks about, then it was Jay Clayton, but Gary Gensler is doubling down on Jay Clayton. Listen to this, because Michael Arrington lays it out. Michael Arrington has me blocked for reasons I really don't understand. But I do agree with most of what the guy says. Listen. Because the SEC is let me see if I can jack this up a little bit.
So we have a few good U.S. investments.
Let me start that back.
On their T-shirt. Another one is Reserve, a company. Because the SEC is single-handedly fucking this industry in the U.S. And so we have a few good U.S. investments. Proppy's one I'm wearing their T-shirt. Another one is Reserve, a company in Oakland, and a couple of others. But 80 to 90% of our investments are in Asia, Europe, and Israel right now, because there are actually countries where there's enough regulatory certainty that that entrepreneurs feel safe starting token companies there, blockchain companies there. Here they don't. There's so much regulatory uncertainty, and then add to that the tax burden and the visa burdens of coming here, and then our current federal government's stance on immigration in general. They're just saying fuck it, and they're staying in Singapore or Israel or Europe instead of coming here and starting companies. It is the SEC needs to get their act together, because if they had done that with the internet in 94, 95, TechCrunch and this, none of us would be here. We'd all be living in Shanghai or somewhere else, wherever managed to get their act together. So when the SEC person comes on stage, first of all, I'd kick them out of the conference. But if they actually come up on stage, I'd ask them, like, do you realize you're single-handedly, like, wrecking the next stage of technology development? And how do you feel about that?
Exactly. And nobody's holding them accountable. You know who the only people that have been, from day one, have been holding the SEC accountable are XRP holders and John Deaton. Okay? With no support, I should mention, from the Blockchain Association, from the Chamber of Digital Commerce, all these people that claim to be pro-industry, crypto industry, when they're actually pro-Bitcoin and Ethereum. None of them have supported what John Deaton's doing. None of them have supported the XRP holders because they hate Ripple so bad. They just can't do what they say their function is, which is to be a crypto industry support group. Or not support group, but a trade group. All right, moving forward, the Mr. Intuitive, who is the official cool guy of the Digital Asset Investor channel, sent me this. I just wanted to show you this. For years on this channel, I've been talking to you about how, and this is no lie, my older kid, from the time he was 7, I did what you see Mike Trout's dad doing here 3 times a week, year round. And I started my younger kid when he was 5 years old doing this. This is still my routine today. I will go to the cage and throw my now 9-year-old balls like that. This is what I've done. I've told you a lot here. You'd probably get sick of hearing my baseball, but oh well. So what I do is I throw 1 bucket of baseballs to him, and then I put 1 bucket on the tee. Then I throw him 15 balls I throw back and forth to train him to throw straight, and then 15 ground balls, and then 15 pop flies I throw in the air. And I do that 3 times a week. With my 9-year-old, I started when he was 5, year round, and then with my now almost 16-year-old, I started him when he was 7. He's now a sophomore lefty pitcher starting. He just got his varsity jersey this week. Exciting times. It's fun when you've laid a foundation. And the reason I've talked about it, all this on this channel, is because what I was teaching, I saw Anthony Pompliano tweet this, and I've found it to be true. Consistency is a superpower. There are so many people. You know what the difference between all the winners and the losers in life? It's real simple. Most people freaking quit. The people that don't quit, don't ever quit, don't ever give up, are so rare. Those are the 1%. It's real simple. You don't even have to be smart. All you have to be is the guy that doesn't quit. I cannot name for you the number of people in my life who I have watched quit. I can't name for you the number of people in my life, in my son's baseball life, that I have, as we've gone along from the time he was 7 till now, I've said, no, you just watch. Now, he just quit because he peeled off because he's going to do another sport, which is okay. This kid quit because his dad got mad at Little League, and they thought he was treating their son wrong, and so they never showed back up. But everybody quits. And as long as you don't quit and you keep consistently practicing, no matter whether you're trying to be a doctor or whether you're trying to be a baseball player or anything else, you will win. You don't, even in fights when I was growing up, the last person, I don't care how big or how small someone is, the person you didn't want to fight was the guy that would not stop. Because those are the guys you have to either kill or knock them out. And that's a lot of work right there for anybody, even if you are tough, and you don't want to go down of course you don't want to go down the kill road. Then you got real problems. But my point is that never, ever, it's that old picture of the freaking, the frog that's being swallowed by the pelican, and he's got his hands around the pelican's neck. That, if you do that in life, you're going to be just fine. Doesn't matter how bad the times get, how good the times get, you will land on your feet. Sorry, I did not plan to go on that tangent today, but I did. But there's a lot of people, you young people that are listening to me, if you do nothing in your life but remember the rant that I just did and apply it in your life, you will make it happen. No question about it. I don't care, but don't be a wimp. And when the going gets tough, don't quit. That doesn't mean you can't alter your path. Just don't quit. Decide what you want and don't quit. All right. iTrustCapital, who is the largest crypto IRA provider in the world, has given me 2 tickets to Bitcoin 2022, which is down in Miami this year again. It's April 6th through the 9th. And my understanding is this is a ticket that'll get you into the conference. Okay. So, and then don't forget, go to iTrustCapital.com to get, to open an IRA. I have 2 of them there. This is the best way. It's the smartest way to invest in crypto, because you can either be invested on a tax deferred or tax free basis, depending on what type of IRA you have. Now, this is interesting. This was some drama I saw going on Twitter. This is BitBoy, Ben Armstrong. Basically he's catching heat on the idea that back a few months ago he had said that he had an insider that had revealed, I think he said he had an insider, a high level insider that was telling him what was going on with the Ripple case or something. So he replies to it here because they're giving him a hard time. He said, here's the fact. I was given information by a high-level individual, period. It didn't play out on that time frame, period. Is it really that far-fetched? Much of the info he gave played out from May to early September. Plenty of evidence to support that. Stop hating for clout. Okay, well, look. My experience is that it's anytime you start talking, I mean, of course, I don't have any insiders. If there's any insiders out there, I would love to hear from you. I've never been approached by an insider. I guess insiders just don't take me serious, but that's okay, because the second you come out and say insider, whoo, people don't like to hear that. Okay, so anyway, but look, I think you want my take? I think BitBoy adds a lot to this space. I think he's an entertaining guy. I think he's got a great personality. I think that he brings a lot of good things to the table. But look, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're going to put yourself out there, sometimes you're going to mess up. Lord knows I have. Everybody does. Sometimes you're going to mess up. You just got to move on. So again, don't quit. Get up, move on. Now. This, you got to hear. I touched on this yesterday, but then Raymond Fuentes put out this video. This is excellent because Uphold, which I own private equity in Uphold, folks. Uphold to me is one of the most undervalued companies, private equity companies in the crypto space. Remember, I don't remember what it was, but I want to say Coinbase went public at $3 or $350 per share, was around where those shares were. Now, think about that as you listen to this video.
Hey, what's going on, family and friends? Ray Fuentes here, community manager at Link2. Dropping in to remind you that Link2 has the unicorn Uphold on the platform, and the CEO of Uphold, JP Theriot, said last summer they're going public in the next 6 months, assuming nothing earth-shattering happens. And, well, here we are a year later, and they sure are being quiet. I wonder what they could have cooking up their sleeve. Also, shout out to Mr. Theriot for being recognized as top 10 crypto executives for
I think his name is Tirrett, by the way.
22. Uphold is a community-friendly operation. They honored the Songbird airdrop, and we're also one of the only exchanges to continue listing XRP despite the ongoing SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. Now, Uphold has 6 million customers and offers more products than Coinbase. You can buy precious metals, fractional shares, and most importantly, you can link Uphold's application directly to Link2's and purchase private equity using your crypto. So in summary, Uphold is a sleeping giant. Don't miss out. Thanks for tuning in. Love you.
I agree. There is a little bit of Uphold left on the platform at $7.50. Now, this is an interesting tweet because I've always, look, with this whole Ethereum free pass thing, I have always thought that the DAO hack had something to do with all of this, all the way to the Ethereum pre-sale. I feel there's so much smoke there that this is interesting. The DAO hack was shady, to say the least. Here's just 3 of the many reasons why. The amount of Ether, $12 million, was the exact amount or 12 million was the exact amount that the Ether Foundation kept after the pre-sale. Orders for the tokens were anonymous. The SEC determined they were securities and didn't pursue enforcement. I'll add one more to that. The other thing that was shady about it is none of the people at Ethereum ever really tried to go and find out who did the hack. And I'll add another one. There's a book on this, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of the book. But there's a book where the guy literally goes and he tries to find who the hacker was, and he says it in the book that he thinks I think he said he thought that it might be an insider. And then Chamber of Digital Commerce did this entire thread. For years, Digital Chamber has been calling for clarity and certainty in crypto. Last week, the SEC proposed new regs that expand the definition of an exchange with 650 pages. The most concerning feature is the proposed language that might be an attempt to expand the SEC's ability to regular crypto trading platforms or DeFi protocols. So in other words, the Chamber of Digital Commerce is all worried about the SEC now. Well, I said maybe it's time to start supporting John Deaton, Digital Chamber of Commerce. Nobody is fighting against the SEC power grab harder. Thus far, the so-called industry groups have ignored him. He represents over 60,000 XRP holders. Do you support us? They haven't weighed in on this. Now, this is a tweet that I saw this morning, and I remembered this. I'm pretty sure I've seen this World Bank document before, but it says on page 31, the Ripple XRP cross-border retail and Stellar XRP LM call it a digital currency. Okay, and then in this document, the most important thing is this clip right here. Look at this. Stable coins refer to a class of digital currencies that are relatively stable in terms of their price. Stable coins offer instantaneous processing and security of payments, as many cryptocurrencies do. They also offer stability with respect to their parity against fiat currencies. 2 digital currencies that fall into this category are RippleNet's native currency, Ripple XRP, and Stellar Network's native cryptocurrency, the Stellar Lumen, XLM. Both Ripple and Stellar enable faster and more efficient cross-border payments relative to correspondent banking. However, the point is that they just called XRP and XLM stable coins, and I don't think that's by accident. You have to ask yourself why, okay? And we asked ourselves why, and this is the document, by the way. This is World Bank Group, and if you let me do a little search here so we can. Here we go. There's XRP. Let's go to the next one right here. Stable coins. So this is the section where it talks about them both. Okay. Now, here's where that gets interesting. What is it that the World Bank is seeing that why would they call XRP and XLM a stable coin? I mean, these things, as you know, as a holder, they fluctuate all the time. They're not stable coins unless there's a plan for them to be stable coins. That's the only thing that makes any sense here. And I saw this going around this morning, and this is Jimmy Valley, who I'm gonna give Jimmy Valley a title today, because if you've looked, this guy's not some dumb guy. This guy is educated, smart. You know, this guy's been around. Okay, he's been in the oil industry in Texas. But I'm going to give Jimmy Valley a title today. Jimmy Valley on the Digital Asset Investor. He is the official most misunderstood guy in the XRP community of the Digital Asset Investor channel. I think Jimmy Valley is very misunderstood, and maybe he was in a way he thought it was a funny way to go about what he was doing, or I don't know. I don't know what the thought pattern was, But he's the one that threw out that, I think it was 37,000 when he did the write up and the whole buyback issue with I think the Federal Reserve is who he had submitted something to. But anyway, at first I was like, whoa, when I saw that I was like, well, what's going on with this guy? What is he talking about? $37,000. And I think the 37,000 is a distraction. I think that he was setting the bar high just in case these guys, there was a scenario where there was an executive order or something to make us turn in our XRP. Because look, think it through for a minute, folks. I think most people listening to my voice that have been around for a while, you at least believe that XRP was designed to be this world reserve digital currency, like like a basket or a bridge currency. Well, if you really believe that, which I do, I believe that that's what this thing was designed for. They've said it. I believe if you look at who all they've been meeting with over these years, well, if you do believe that, we're not talking about a few $100,000 or a few $100 million. We're talking about billions and trillions of dollars. Okay, if you so. If XRP is going to be that important and XLM is going to be that important, is it too crazy to think? I mean, is it too crazy to think one of these large figures? But back to this stablecoin thing, okay? I want you to listen to this.
$5,000 a coin. Easy to project that it's a double-digit number. So, I think it immediately shoots up to a $10, potentially $20.
$10 to $30 on a successful resolution of the suit. I agree with that. Now keep listening.
The wild card to me, the deal to be done among the central banks, have XRP work as the world's bridge currency, a neutral asset that could be traded between the central banks to move a specific type of fiat to another type of fiat. If that's what occurs, it's back to what we were discussing earlier. It's got to cover kind of all the money. And I think you're looking at a range that XRP would settle on agreement. So this
would settle on agreement. When I hear on agreement, what I hear is price set. Okay? This is one of the in other words, what he's saying is $10 to $30 once you have a settlement. But if XRP is going to really move all the money in the world, I believe what he's saying here is that it's got to be somewhat stable. So they have to agree on at least some price floor. And that's why he threw out that huge number, because he believes, kind of like there's a part of me that believes that this is where this has to go if XRP is going to be used for the world. Some type of a set where you give it some kind of at least stability with a floor. And it's got to be high. David Schwartz has said that before. And here's Brad Garlinghouse in the past from the same guy, where Brad Garlinghouse is talking about, this was an issue all along. So it's been an issue in his conversations with the central banks. It's an issue, the price fluctuation.
I hear people talk about volatility, and I feel like they're propagating misinformation. The volatility risk of fiat, volatility is just a mathematical calculation of time times volatility. If you hold fiat for, let's say, an average SWIFT transaction today is in the order of magnitude 2 days, that's about 180,000 seconds. An XRP transaction is 3 seconds. So if you take a low volatile asset times a long duration fiat, or a high volatility asset versus a very, very short amount of time, it turns out mathematically there's less volatility risk in an XRP transaction than there is in a fiat transaction. The difference is you have market makers. When you do a SWIFT transaction, there's a market maker saying, I'll lock in that rate. I'll take the volatility risk for the next 2 or 3 days. With XRP, you don't have to do that because it settles so quickly. I hear people...
I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that XRP and XLM, according to the World Bank, are stable.